Hello there. Hello there, magic monsters. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad you're here. I'm happy that you're here. I am grateful for your presence. As you can see, I've got my Christmas lighting up because tis the season. Tis the season. And let me see. Where's my thing telling me how loud I am? Am I loud? Am I loud? No, I'm not too loud. I think I think I'm okay this time. But if I am too loud, let me know. What are we doing today? Okay, so here's the first thing. I just installed the new writer. Plenty loud. Good. Hopefully not too loud. I installed the new writer. I had signed up for it a few days ago, but I hadn't installed it until just now. But I'm not going to use it just now because I've got other... Well, we might use it depending on the bug support stuff. But because the first thing I need to do is go through this. As many of you know, I have a day job. I have family and friends, and it's the season for many things going on in the world, and the day job got really busy this week as well. So I just didn't have time to go into the Discord here and look at all these various things here. And then this morning... Oh, well, I'm glad you're here. This morning I went on, as I do, to start doing all of this. I was going to stream. I knew I was going to stream. I knew I was going to get through these. And I went to the Asset Store and checked the reviews as I do. And it always fills me with a little bit of dread, but there were some negative reviews. There were 3 negative reviews, all from the same person. Maybe you're on the stream, and if you are, well, we're going to get to your questions today. But part of the negative reviews were that there was no support, and it felt like it was on purpose. It's not on purpose. I got a life. And as someone who has a life and stuff to do, I can't always get to support right away. So I apologize for that. I replied on the things. I would appreciate if those reviews were changed into 5-star reviews or removed, because I don't think they're valid examples or reflections of the quality of the work and the efforts that I put into it. But maybe I'm just biased. Anyway, so we're going to go through these reviews and figure out what's what. So, no, you don't want the negative reviews. I'd rather have no reviews than negative reviews. The problem is the negative reviews, when you go to the store, let's see the store. Which one was on the low poly bundle? Low poly bundle. The problem is that not everybody reads the reviews, and it takes 7 5-star reviews to counteract a single 1-star review. And I'm assuming you publish on the store as well. And if you're talking about reviews, and you know how hard it is to get reviews. Low poly bundle. And so the problem is So the problem is that when people go and look at this, they now see 4 stars. Not 5 stars, but 4 stars. And a lot of people don't read the reviews. A lot of people, I think, I don't know what percentage, I don't know, but certainly non-zero number of people will look at this 4 stars and move along. They won't click into it. They won't click in and see what the review is. They won't click in and see what the reply to the review is, which I think those who do read the reply would be like, oh, yeah, that's reasonable. But if you've got up here now 4 stars instead of 5, and then you look at this and you're like, oh, wow, okay. Most people like it, but one person, I'm doing it on purpose. It doesn't always take 1 to 2 weeks. Sometimes it takes 1 hour or less, But anyways, so this stuff does work in HDRP. Honestly, the at its core, these textures are just as textures, just colors. Throw on any old shader and it will work just fine. But we'll figure out what the actual problem is here. And even this 4-star one is, again, I don't advertise that they're compatible with Blender. It's not compatible with Blender. Well, I don't know how to use Blender, so I don't know if is that valid. I don't think that's valid. Like what nobody's buying this to use it in Blender. This person apparently is buying it in order to use it in Blender, but I'm not advertising that it works in Blender. So similar textures, but if you're talking about textures, then that's not Blender, that's Substance Painter. But these are not meant for that. They're low poly with, yeah, so I don't know. These are awesome, except for the snake. Snake doesn't look low poly. All right, well that's subjective, but sure, that's more fair. But the rest, come on, what's with you? One more star. Anyways, it takes 7 5-star reviews to counteract a single one. So I would need 1 or 2 more 5-star reviews to keep this to be a 5-star average. So there we go. If I accidentally cough, sorry, I'm still getting over that Unite cough I got, but every day 5% better. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, becoming a successful publisher is hard. It also depends on where you live, because success is very subjective. For me, I'm in an expensive area, and I have a day job, but I would like to not have a day job one day. So success probably requires more income from the store than others because, unfortunately, expenses are higher. And my family is here and my friends are here, so I'm not moving. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you can move to a cheaper area. So there we go. So that's what we're doing today. We're starting with this. Let's look at the discussion first just to see what's up. Oh, one discussion. Is there a way to add a lookup table into the dictionaries of an item object? So you want to look at a lookup table. Interesting. I don't think there is. Interesting. I don't think there is. To clarify, you're looking, get it, to add the lookup table object itself to the dictionaries. I suppose the game object would actually work for this purpose, since the lookup table is a game object. That might work. Can I ask what the use case is that you're trying to do? So that's an interesting thing. This is the game modules for question, and the lookup table is basically a lookup table. You got one value on the left, one value on the right. We can check this out actually on the get a visual of it on the scripting docs. If you go to infinitybr.com, click on the scripting docs. I don't know how many people actually see this, but it is a very useful, very fleshed out documentation site. It could always be better, and if you have suggestions, please tell me. Let me know nicely, not with through a 1-star review, through a 5-star review. But if we look up the lookup table, let's ask this question: can I add a lookup table object to the dictionaries on an item object? Let's see what the AI... This is an AI-powered search, which is really neat. So I like to play with it to see if it will come up with the right answers. Yes, you can do... each key value can hold many different types. And lookup tables are a type of game module object. Interesting. Maybe it would work, but I don't think it would. I don't think I added that type specifically, so this might actually be wrong. But let's look at the lookup tables themselves. So this is a lookup table. You've got a value on the left, a value on the right. You put in this, you get out that. So in this case, this one is actually designed very closely to the old Might and Magic 6, 7, and 8 lookup tables for stat bonuses, where if your stat is on the left here, the actual bonus is on the right. So as you can see, you really need to get a lot of more stats to get a little bit of bonus at the end. And I swear there was another lookup table result from input value. Very easy to get the output value. But I swear there was another... Maybe I didn't add it. Maybe I haven't added it. There's more advanced. You can do the lookup tables. You can use them with an animation curve. You can pre-populate them or populate a whole bunch just on math. So maybe I should slow down on the coffee. I'm feeling caffeinated. Anyways, lookup tables are cool. They're very helpful in games, right? To get values out and modify one value to another on a fixed value or on a curve or whatever you want. So second asset is currently 880 in the queue. I don't think I can finish in time, about 2 weeks. Does it harm sales to release a base version? Ooh. So let me clarify that. Does that mean you've submitted the asset to the queue? You know it's a long queue, so you submit it before it was really ready, and you were thinking, okay, by the time it gets to the top, I'm going to update it with the proper version. Kind of skipping the line a little bit. Makes sense. People do that. So first, you might not get accepted. If it's not a finished asset, they might decline it. Now, resubmissions are handled faster than initial submissions, so keep that in mind. But you will be essentially wasting somebody's time, right, who is looking at your product and spending their time to find it's not ready and then tell you, hey, it's not ready, something you already knew. So realistically, it would be very nice, just from that standpoint, to not have it be not ready. So if you are able to finish, that's great. But from the exact question of does it harm sales to release a base version and update it later, it depends. If people are expecting the update and that's what they're actually buying, then maybe it would harm sales because people wouldn't buy it. But I think if the core is there, then great. Keep that, advertise that. If you do talk in the description about what you plan to add in the future, best to not say I 100% will add this, because some users will say, oh, 2 weeks later, you didn't add it, you promised this and it wasn't there. Or you might actually change your mind too, or you might not get back to it. So don't promise things. Suggest what you are looking to add at some point in the future, but don't use language that doesn't promise it, because if you promise something and you don't do it, you can get refunds. There'd be valid refunds at that point because you're advertising something that doesn't exist. So be careful of that, and always do the new release discount. Do the new release discount. 50% off 2 weeks, whatever you want, but 50% off 2 weeks is what I do. I think it's the best option, and you'll get the most money at the start, which will help. Won't create an engine. If the product is going to sell, it's going to sell. If it's not going to sell, it's not going to sell. But it does help with some money at the beginning. And money is helpful. Makes the world go round. All right, I had to finish that cup of coffee because once, it gets cold. And then it's just gross, right? All right, so lookup tables are cool. Yeah, there you go. 3 sales, not bad, not amazing, not terrible. Better than 0. Infinitely better than 0. But yeah. But it is hard. I mean, I'll tell you that my big things, the game modules and North Star are both things that they sell okay, but we're talking about under 10 a month, under 10 sales a month. So, it takes time to grow and to figure out the right marketing and all that stuff. So, all right. What's next? Let's go to Infinity Unity support. There's a bunch here. Well, look at these. All right. We're going to start at this one because it's already selected. All right. Oh, yeah, that's an annoying one. Yeah, long loading times. Okay. I think this could be the problem that's happening when selecting the characters. At least one of 3 errors at the top if you know how to fix them. Also, this is something you see a lot. Okay, divide by 0 exception. That's interesting. That shouldn't happen. We'll look into that. And then, okay, serialization depth. This is not an issue. Okay, so this isn't an issue. The warning is just saying there's a loop, which is true, but it won't affect you unless you try to save over 10 levels deep. If that's the case, Probably a refactor is in order. This is one thing that I don't know. I struggle with some. This guy is reasonable about it. He's not saying, "Hey, there's an error," but some people call this an error, and this isn't an error. It's literally a warning. Errors are red, warnings are yellow. So it's literally not an error. Some people think it is. Not Alex here. Alex is fine. And this I can't stop this because it is designed that a game module has a dictionary, and dictionaries have game modules objects, and then each of those has a dictionary which can have. So you see, there's a loop. Though no matter what your serialization depth limit is set to, there's going to be this warning, and I don't want to. You can mute warnings via code. I don't want to do that to people though, because maybe they do want to know about this. So it's more of an education thing on like, hey, this is a warning, not an error. But this is an error, and divide by 0. What do we got here? That's not an issue. That's not an issue. This is the issue here, but this is not the issue affecting the original question. So let's reply here. I'll look into this now. This isn't affecting the slow loading time of the character. That's more to do with the blend shape scripts, etc. Let's see. So let's load up game modules in our Unity. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Game modules, game modules, game modules, game modules. Have you ever noticed that sometimes things disappear from this list? Game modules, game modules, game modules. Asset store, projects, game modules. Do you see it? I don't see it. All right, so we have to add it from the list. Asset store, projects, game modules 4. See, sometimes they just disappear from the hub list. It makes 0 sense. Would you say the sales you get right now are from your Discord and your community from there, or discovering the store? Both. Both. No doubt it's both. I've been fairly vocal about my own stuff on the store. 2023 is a tough year all around. I think my bigger concern, though, is not really with 2023 because there's not much I can do about wars in the world and the economy. I can only, ride those waves like everybody else. But I feel like my community has grown tremendously. My reach has grown with the YouTube stuff and all that tremendously. I've been on the store for a long time, so for not new users, they should know me by now. And most people do say they've seen my stuff, they know of my stuff. But my revenue has not increased. In fact, this year's revenue is less than half of what 2021 was. 2021 being a great year, so let's keep that in mind. This is a kind of shitty year, and 2021 was a banner year with the COVID and everybody using Unity because they had all this free time sitting at home. But yeah, I would have expected that over time I'd be growing because library getting bigger, more stuff, but we'll see. Yeah, it's, comes and goes. It's a business like every other business in the end. And Chase changed too. So, all right, let's look at this error. This guy. Oh, by the way, I just cleared out. That's a habit I do now. That's a habit everybody should do. Clear out the console. You see all those random things, just clear it. If it can be cleared, it's not really an issue. Most likely. In most cases. All right, so we have a bug online. 469 of editor window game modules. So let's load it up. Editor window game modules 469. New window. Why did it minimize at the same time? What's going on here? Is this, what version is this? 23.3.1. So this is the right version. Do we have my AI? Yes, we do. Okay, so it just was weird. Okay. 469 will make this a little bit bigger for all you folks watching on your phones. Hopefully none of you, but maybe some of you. 469. Here we go. Button width. Divide by buttons per row. Okay, let's just use the AI for this. I can do it myself. I'm going to try the AI for the first time. I was using the AI in the beta, so this is not the first time. But Oh, interesting that it took in the whole. I only selected a little bit, but it took in the whole method. That's neat. Button width is sometimes divided by 0 because buttons per row may be 0. Let's handle that. All right, and it's going to tell me how to handle that. Buttons per row. Buttons per row. I get nervous when it gives me the whole thing because I'm afraid it may have changed something. It probably didn't change anything, so I really only want to bring over the part that it did change. And I also like to see what it's doing for the most part so that we can see what it is. All right, so this is basically keeping the floor to int and then adding this. So there you go. And we can remove that comment. Thank you, AI. That should fix it. I need to now make sure I don't make a mistake here and forget to make the update and put it in the notes. So let me look at my game modules in my draft. Do I have a draft for this yet? I do. All right. So we have our draft here. We're going to go to release notes. Create new draft. I thought I had one in draft. I literally clicked it. Oh, well. All right. So release notes. We're going to do 4.0.10. 4.0.10. Fixed a potential divide by 0 error in game modules. What was it? What was it? What was it? Where is it? Writer. Game modules. Editor window game modules. Editor window game modules.cs. All right. So that's that. Save that. We might fix more stuff today, and now we will go to here and say export this as a just the file itself. Editor window game modules, and we will then go back to Discord and say Alex, this will be in the next update, but here's the update. One line just checks for 0 before doing the division. All right. So that should be that. Okay, let's go from the bottom to the top. 7 days ago. See, it was a busy week. This is an Apple Silicon Mac. Apple Silicon. I invest in only a few things. I invest in a nice chair because I sit in this chair more than I do anything else. Not very healthy, but at least the chair is very comfortable and supportive. So an expensive chair, Herman Miller, worth every penny because, as I said, do the math on cost per hour, and this chair probably costs me less per hour than most things in life. Nice. Oh, I guess a nice table. This is a nice enough table. This is IKEA. It's a stand-up, sit-down. I like tall chairs, so I'm in a bar height chair. And the desk itself is a stand-up, sit-down desk. So I invest in that. I invest in board games behind me, which I don't get to play enough of because my friends are too far away who play them. So I have all of these that are still in their wrapper. And even Gloomhaven I've never played because my friends don't want to play it with me. Anyways, so I invest in those because I love them, and they, that I have so much fun when I play with my friends, and I think that would make me very happy if I played them every day with my friends and, just had a good time. And I invest in the hardware I use for all of this because, one, it's tax write-off in this world or in this land that I live in. So that's a little helpful. It saves, 25-30% of the money. But second, those micro transactions of time add up. So, I'm willing to spend on technology, good microphone, good lights. My you can't really see it, but my desk is cluttered with stuff. But all of the computers. I've got my work computer over here, my personal computer here, my giant ass monitor right here. It's a big ultra wide, higher resolution ultra wide because I got used to the Macs, of course. And but they're all off the desk. They're all clipped on stands on the side, arms that can move around and stuff. And so there's more desk space. So I've got that. I got the nice keyboard, the nice mouse I like. So these are the things I'll invest in because I spend, again, so much time sitting here. And the value of having a nice arm to hold this ultra wide and the computer and another arm over here, those values, the value of having clips so the wires are nicely tucked underneath the desk, that's worth it to me for the state of mind, but also the microtransactions of time so that I spend less time doing other things and more time working on my stuff and not doing those other things. So those are the things I invest in life. I don't wash my car. My car is a Prius. It gets good gas mileage. It's paid off. It still runs. It's going to run until it stops running, and I'm going to try to keep it running forever. And I don't wash it because why spend money on washing your car? Seems like a waste. Anyways, that's my personality. You can wash your car. That's fine. I don't care. All right. You mean adding horizontal motion by adding... yes. Yes, the first. My thinking is that if it's moving to the side, add opposite motion keys to counteract that. Essentially, that's how root motion works as well. All right, that was easy. I wish I had come earlier, but that's just the way it is. All right, advanced dissolve shader issue. I'm trying to use advanced dissolve shader together with low poly monsters. Seems to work with Synty right away, but URP, there's some incompatibility. Well, the base shader would just be any old URP shader. So whatever shader the Synty stuff is, my hands are in the wrong position now. I lifted up my keyboard, now the keyboard's in the wrong position, is can be used, or any default URP shader. The color shifter, not sure if that is causing any issues. I'd think the advanced dissolve shader requires some flag or other tech type thing. Not sure of what it would be called to run the dissolve aspect, i.e. showing some transparency with a mask. Either the mask is a map you provide or created via the shader. Either way, it's a map, it's a texture map. Dissolved. So my first step would be to make sure the shader is compatible with the tool you're using, and if the Synty shaders are, then try to use whatever those use. Probably a basic default shader, because they, like my own, are at the core just one color map. It's funny because whenever I get questions about the low poly shader stuff, I'm like, it's just one texture. You cannot get more basic than one texture. So it's usually an issue with the other tool, or they're using the color shifter and using it in a different way that it's not really intended to be used, or something like that. But because the color shifter is a custom shader. I mean, Apple is definitely more expensive. I personally have always used it since I was a kid, so Windows PCs gives me a headache. I don't really know how to use them the way I know how to use that. So, you have to consider that. If you don't know how to use a Mac and you're just completely confident with a PC, go with a PC. They're probably both the same when it comes to reliability. I think Macs are still probably a little bit more reliable than PCs, but that's really a software thing and that combination of the software hardware. But really, It's probably not worth the effort to min-max that aspect. I would say if you're comfortable with PCs, they are cheaper, so maybe just go with that. I like the Macs, so I also don't like dealing with the PC issues because I don't know how, so it's worth it for me. Warnings all over the place. We've been talking. What is this? Any news on my side? I couldn't remember what. There were so many things here. I couldn't remember what they were talking about. Well, the most important one is the object composite cycle and serialization. Yeah, that's not an issue. Well, so I haven't looked into this because it's not a huge priority. This is similar to that other warning that the other guy said, the serialization depth limit. It's not an issue. The color shifter has the same type of thing. If we load up a low poly project, Astor Projects low poly, we can look into it just a little bit, but this is not a huge issue because it's not actually causing problems. I also realize that some people love to not have any warnings. Why my left eye is twitching? Some people love to have no warnings, and like it's kind of a thing that they don't like having warnings, and if there are warnings, they fixate on it. Not saying that Pierre 33 is fixating on it. I'm just saying that some people just really, it irks them. It gets to them. It drives at them. Kind of like some people, if they looked at my desk, would not be happy. They'd be like, why is there a Band-Aid there? It's not used Band-Aid. Why is there a Band-Aid there? Why are these tax documents there? Why do you have almonds right here? Well, that's obvious. It's to eat. But why do I have random Benjamin Twiggs blazing red hot cherry salsa? I'm not going to eat this. Well, I will, but not at my desk like that. It's just because I haven't dealt with it. But yeah, some people get irked by stuff like that. All right. So here's the warning again. Same deal. You see the warning. Color item children, blah, blah, blah. It keeps going down. It's going to go for forever. The color sets, color shift items, and the children go forever. It's a recursive loop. Bring my water out here. Oh well, I know it's in the kitchen. I filled it up. I didn't bring it in. Color shifter. Where is this? Color shifter. Color shifter. It's probably just color shifter. Infinity color shifter. Color item. We'll find it. New window. Color item. All right. Getting the action ready. So here we go. A list of color items. Right? You see the loop here, right? This is a color shifter color item, and there it has a list of other color shifter color items. So forever and ever and ever and amen. So our user here, Pierre33, is suggesting that if we add a serialized field or serialized reference, or what was it? Serialized reference to my list, then that would not happen. Let's find out. All right, so that does not happen there. Let's just ask the AI. The property, or not the property, not property. What is it? List color item children provides a warning in the editor due to the loop. It has been suggested that if I add a serialized reference to this, that error would, or that warning would go away. Is that the case? Let's see what the AI says. Field. That was the word. Field. Right? Because both variables and properties are fields. But that was the word I was looking for. Let's see what the AI says. Attributing can be useful for resolving issues with polymorphic or reference type that requires civilization, as by default only supports stone types. In your code, it seems like you're getting a warning. Yep. Now, if these object references use any object types, component, game, object, you may get warnings that code references were lost during assembly reloading, which could potentially be resolved by adding. So that doesn't sound like it. However, please note that applying to your list of reference doesn't always guarantee this warning will go away. In your case, you can try applying to the list. Remember that if you are serializing a list of classes, each item in the list should also have serializable tag. It does. The warning message still occurs. Please provide the exact warning message text. Well, this is the text. I think it's... copy it all. I know why it's doing it, but let's let the AI have its little day in the sun. The warning text is that. The warning shows you're exceeding the limit because you've created a deeply nested hierarchy. It's infinite. Does this prevent potential issues with infinite recursion? Will not resolve this issue. Possible solution is rethinking your data structure. Yep, but I don't want to do that. Yeah, so I'm gonna reply to Pierre here. Now look, and the AI has confirmed, as much as we can trust the machine, that adding this would not change anything. The reality is, for this warning, it's caused because each color shifter color item class has a list of color shifter item color item in them. That's infinite, so it will always trigger this warning, but it's just a warning. Caused because I mean, did I hide it? I hid it. Why I should have separated these into this separate files. Now doing it will cause folks to get, well, they'd have to update. Yeah, it's fine. But anyways, how do we use this value? So when we set the skip children and stuff, we just have a list of all the skip children, and update links. Yeah. So the list is used to allow things like skipping children of one color, so that instead of updating multiple, you can, in the editor tool, combine them into one thing that needs to be updated. Very convenient when a lot of colors just need to be the same, or the same variation of the base color. Like, I don't think this will cause any issues in any games, but if you think it is, please let me know and I can look more into it. All right. By defining a size for the list. think so, because again, each item in the list has another one of those. So it does, even if the list is only one, it just goes back and forth forever, right? Because each item, that first item will have in it a list with one item, which will have in it a list of one item, which will have in it a list of one item, and it will just go on forever. It's not the size of the list, it's the fact that it's a loop. It's literally a loop, right? So I don't think it will ever go away. Unreal project bonus files. Hey, all, love my ass spot, include bonus files for Unreal. What exactly is that? It's a literal Unreal project. Yes, that is what it is. But, yes, however, these will eventually go away. The Unreal Marketplace versions take upkeep, and most take some level, in some cases a lot, of integrations of imports that setup work get on their store. Oliver handles this now and is compensated by revenue from that store for his immense efforts. While some of the older characters do have these, the best is to just get them from the Unreal Marketplace if you want to use them in Unreal. Booyah! Enumerable extensions compiler error. I am honestly thinking next time I import something, unchecking demo scenes anyhow. Yep, for any assets. It's very true. My test build recently had to nuke a lot of demo scenes to get rid of compile errors, even though I would have thought that any scene not part of the build shouldn't be involved. Yeah, Unity will include who knows what scripts, etc. Just being there and unused is enough to trigger an issue. This is basically like, I make the same mistake too. When you install something from Package Manager, an asset from the store, often people just say install everything, right? But do you really want to install everything? Is that really what you want to do? Because, you know, these packages include demo scenes. My stuff includes shared scripts. And the problem is I can't update. Whenever I update the shared scripts, I make an improvement, bug fix, or something like that, I can't go and update every single package because that takes literally a week of every night sitting there uploading stuff and clicking the buttons and all that. So I can't do that every time I update scripts because, as you just saw, I update them fairly often. So for any shared scripts, I will keep the support files up to date, and then periodically I will spend that week to merge them all together, to sync them all together. So if you go to infinitybr.com, click on the See All Assets, which does put in my affiliate link, and Jihad, if you don't use the affiliate program yet, that's a great way to earn a little extra money and to build your, or get rewarded for building your community. But if you go to the asset store and just search for support files, you'll find my support files right here. And this is kept up to date. So if this is the last thing you install, it will install all the latest versions of the scripts, of the shared scripts. If you install another character that hasn't been updated, then you might overwrite those shared scripts. Unity doesn't care. It will tell you you're about to overwrite something. And if you do that, then you might get the old version. It doesn't tell you you're about to overwrite it with an older version. It just says you're going to overwrite it. Might be new, might be old. So when you install stuff, best to unselect everything and install only the stuff you need to do. You can all try doing it again. I think right now it's the holidays, so it might be slower, but it's a good program. Anyway, so that's that. That's what that conversation was about. Oh, sounds good. D, are you watching the stream right now? Because this is live, you know. Cheers to that. All right. Next, smaller textures. I bought the lockpicking package. It's amazing. However, really heavy. Would it be possible to include some textures which are way smaller? Well, this is actually a good lesson here. There's actually inside Unity. Have you guys seen the lockpicking? Lockpicking doesn't get as much love as it deserves. It's been a while since I updated. It might be I could make it better, and I don't know if I can make it better. Actually, I love the package. I love the package, but I made it a while ago, so obviously the longer since I made it, the more good I got at coding. I don't even know where the package is now. I have all these old packages. I need to figure out which ones I don't need anymore, right? Lockpick package 2021. Is this the right one then? Maybe it is. Let's open it. See what happens. It might not be the right one. Did it not work? Missing editor version. Yeah. Ideals meal. This one. Change version. So the lockpicking package, one of my favorites. It's like Skyrim style lockpicking. It's very nice. And so he's asking about the textures. The textures are 4K. I like to produce stuff in the highest quality because you can always go lower, but you can't go higher. Although with AI upscaling tools, you can go higher. It's not quite the same. It's still easier to just have the highest resolution at the beginning. You can make things bigger now, and it's a decent quality. But, oh, this is not here. That's not it at all. Anyways, let's just move ahead. We will give him the good news that you can update textures. Let's find a texture. Texture. Sprite. Where are my sprites? Game modules, scene. Type. Nope, not that one. Type of sprite. Do we not have any sprites in here? All right. We don't have any sprites in this project. Well, let's load up a different project then. Let's load up Legend of the Stones, the project I've been working on. Why am I seeing an ad? Yes, you're right. He can just simply resize them in the editor. So I'm going to show him that, you know, teach a person to fish and all that mumbo jumbo. Ooh, what does this say? Yep. That is the one my friend gets. I think. But let's be honest. She'll drink anything. Just kidding. Just kidding. Sort of. All right, let's look at a sprite or a texture. Texture. So in any of these, we will mark it up with a colorful thing and circle this. Oops. Nope. Nothing in the fill. And then, boo. Where's the texture size thing? Max size. Oh, max size. There we go. Max size. And then from there, do that. Done. Okay. This is Legend of the Stones, my game, which is very back to the beginning. Because that's what you do sometimes. All right, let's go to the Discord. We can add this file, desktop, screenshot. There you go. And say, you can actually resize these in the editor. Select the file. And then the max size option in the inspector. This is actually really helpful for optimizations when you get to that point, because often you can resize some maps smaller than others and not have any noticeable difference. For example, you may be able to make the diffuse and mask maps half the size of the normal map, and not lose any fidelity that anyone would notice, but save on the memory usage. All right. Did you know that? Like if you got like, 3 maps, mask map, normal map, texture map for a nice high fidelity character or object, you can make one of them smaller than the others or 2 of them smaller than the others. And often it looks perfectly fine. There you go. Now you know. Now you know. If you didn't know, now you know. They seem... So freaking YouTube has this button over there. They seem old. Is that the words? They seem old. I can't. They seem old. Actually, they got released after the high fidelity stuff. The high fidelity stuff came first because that's what I want for my game, and everything I make is basically for my game. But then I thought to myself, since he's popular, I know those guys, and I was like, hey, if I make low poly models to match your style, can I just use your dungeon in the demo scene? They're like, yeah, and they even gave me a key because they're nice people. And so yeah, I made those. They're based on the high fidelity ones. They're cheaper to get produced because all I had to do was pay somebody to make new versions of them or redo the originals to make them for that. And there you go. They sell decently enough. They're not the top selling thing, but they're definitely not it's the bundles that people buy. And so every once in a while they'll buy a single item, but the bundles are the better value, so people buy that. So yeah. So they're actually newer than the others. You'll get the high fidelity before you'll get the low fidelity, the low poly one. Everything seems to be working just fine. Good, done. Check mark, done. Except, oh no, when I use the first person movement control scripts, it never registers my character as grounded. Interesting. Is this my script that you're using? If so, can you remind me of which script? I think I have some various versions of this. The only one that is more robust is from Game Modules. I can look into it. So I'm going to press play here. This is the script in use. I believe I'm using it in Legend of the Stones. The first-person movement script. It's fairly basic. It's extensible, but it's fairly basic. But you can move around. But you can also fly. So here we are flying now. And then we go down and we land. Now, it's a little jittery because all this other stuff. Maybe if I put this up here and then we make this 16 by 10 or something. There you go. That's a little less jittery maybe. So, okay, we're going up, we're going down, we're doing all this stuff. We're using North Star, we're using characters. So, All the overlays, by the way, are North Star, that asset from my package. So lots of stuff there. And the first person movement player object is this one. And is there a grounded flag here? There's no grounded flag. I don't know if there's... Oops. Oh, well. Find grounded. Is grounded happens. Still doing its thing here. And once it's finished, doesn't its thing. Okay, now is grounded is this. Is grounded is in first person movement control. Sphere cast. So is he talking about this? Let's see. Try changing the sphere cast to a ray cast. Try changing the height. All right. So I don't. If you're using. So if this is a first person movement control, assuming it's first person movement control, I don't think changing the sphere cast will matter. My guess is that it's just not registering the ground. Assuming ray or sphere cast will both fail if that's the case. So is grounded is basically doing a sphere cast down from 1 meter up. Max distance is distance to ground plus 1. Try doing a debug on distance to ground to see what that value is. It should be far enough to get the ground in the cast. If it's not, try debugging that. Distance to ground is itself move controller bounds extents minus sphere radius. So it is math. And then the other thing is this ground angle. Then maybe debug log on ground angle in case that's not acting right. But also make sure the ground is actually being something the cast can hit, right? Excuse me. Because ultimately, if it can't get the hit on the ground, then it won't get the return properly. Now this is a terrain, and our terrain is just a terrain. Nothing fancy. It's on layer default. Player object. Let's see. I don't think. Is there a layer? I don't think there's any layer list here, right? So it should just work. So I don't really know what would be the issue for them, but it works for me. So that's the first person movement. It's got some options. There's a slight rise up and down. But see, pass these values from your input script, so you can use whatever input script you want. And then you can do various things, control options. And I think it's, yeah, you use this is what you use to really control all the different things. So you can flight, you can turn it on and off. You can jump, you can do all this other stuff. But if you change those values, then your first person will be able to do different things. So right here is jump force is 5. If we make jump force 50 on this scriptable object, we'll have to remember to turn it back. Now you can jump super high. Because scriptable objects do get saved between when you press stop, because they are scriptable objects. They're not part of the scene itself. So if you change it, you need to do that and then jump repeatedly. I'm just now hitting down space. Now I'll keep jumping. See that? Turn that off. Short jump if the button is released. So if we let's make this back up to something tall. If I release the button, then it does a short jump. If I don't release, it does a tall jump. Turn that off though. You do the tall jump regardless. and whether you can change direction in air. Currently, if I am moving forward while jumping, moving forward while jumping, I can't change direction. But if I click that to be on, now I can do that magical thing that some video game characters can do where they change direction midair. So there's all these cool options. It's actually a pretty robust first-person movement script. It's not fancy, but it's robust. North Star looks very popular. I was thinking about making it something like that, but when I saw the idea of it already on the store, I gave up. You know, it's an interesting thing. I also went through that same process. In fact, a lot of my stuff, Game Modules 4 included, I went through the same process where I said to myself, I don't want to redo something that somebody else already does well. So like Nature Manufacture does these amazing environments. I'm not going to likely do any environment stuff because they do, and why recreate the wheel? When I looked at the North Star, I looked at other options on the store, and some looked pretty good. I got one and tried it out, and I looked at the demo scenes of the others, or the videos, the demo videos of the others, and what I realized was, while they looked good, I couldn't trust that they were done in the way I wanted them to be done, the extensible way that I prefer to do things. And also, they didn't have features that I knew I wanted. So some of them didn't seem super easy to change the look and feel. So there's that. Some of them didn't have both of these values, both of these things, and they didn't necessarily work really well together. And then kind of a silly thing, but look at those don't, which ones do? Okay, there's this one. All right, so this monster on the side, the left side here, you can see the overlay happens when you get to the side here. So we're seeing the side there, but if it stops moving, so we have the screen overlay and the edge overlay, but you see that transition? It's very hard to see. It's white. It's right here in the bottom corner. That transition is something that others don't do. And I said to myself, I want a freaking transition, damn it. I don't want to just have it snap. I don't like that. So I want a transition. It transitions, and the colors transition, and the sizes transition. Everything transitions. So it looks much better, in my opinion, than the other ones did. So I wouldn't have done it myself, but they didn't do things I wanted to do. So I said, I'm going to do it myself. Game Modules 4, same thing. There's other game things out there, but they were very opinionated, in my opinion. And opinionated means, of course, that they are... you have to do things the way that they want you to do things. And if you don't, you have to work around it. I didn't want to work around it. I wanted a game system, basically game modules, that let me make my game or any other game so that you can make your game, because your game is not my game. How my game works, even if we're both making a first-person party-based RPG, they might not work the same way. There might be things about them that make them essentially incompatible. And if you look at some of the other popular game-making tools out there, that are way more popular than Game Modules 4, you kind of have to do things the way they do them, right? If you want your character to move a certain way, well, you're going to have to work around the fact that the character already moves a certain way. With my stuff, you can use the first-person movement system, or you can use any other movement system, or you can roll your own. None of that matters. All of them will work with Game Modules just fine, because Game Modules doesn't care what input system you use. So yeah. Anyways, that's my rant. Discord. So there you go. HDRP doesn't seem to work. Now this seems to be, well, I am a little sick. What's wrong with him? What's wrong with me? Yep, I was sick. Hello, I have an issue with 2023.2 HDRP and the low poly monster bundle. I followed the import of text and have these errors. Get decal surface data cannot implicitly convert float 3 to frag inputs. Invalid subscript decal layer mask. Well, I mean, the only way we can test this is by doing it ourselves, and it's probably an HDRP issue because HDRP freaking changes all the damn time. So I have to do a new project. Do I even have this installed? 2023.2? Is that even out? Installs. Install editor. 23.2. It is out. All right. So, other versions. Install. Now we have to wait for that to install. So my first guess with this is that the HDRP changed. That's the biggest issue. And this is why I really don't freaking like to support HDRP because of this. Because some people get really pissy when it changes and then suddenly they're using the latest version, which really, come on, you should probably use the LTS version like a normal person. Anyways, LTS is the way to go for an actual project. But I get it. People want to use the latest and greatest too. All right. You're a normal person if you use non-LTS. But you're going to have issues like this because Unity changes HDRP. I don't check every single time they do something because that's ridiculous. That would take too much time. But somebody else found it, and now they're asking for support. But they also gave me a 1-star review. So come on, man. You know. Yeah. Let's see. It also looks like it was the 9th, but it was last Saturday. I went through all of this stuff last Saturday, and 8:31 p.m. He unfortunately wrote just a few hours or so, maybe 5-6 hours after I had gone through everything. Do 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 do. Installing this editor. Do 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 do. So, any good jokes? Oh, install complete. All right. So, let's do a new project, and we're gonna do this in 2023.2. We're going to call this temp. So I remember to delete it later. We're going to do low poly shader HDRP. And do we have to do this? Where's HDRP? Down. No. No. Do I need the template? Do I need to download the template? I guess I need to download the template. All right. I guess I have to select one of these. Create project. Then we're going to have to install it from the package manager and see what's what. There's also a good chance that this user doesn't actually need to use the shader that's causing the issue. Because, like I said before, the low poly stuff is just one diffuse texture. So unless you're using the color shifter, which you can use in any other version, so you could just load up any old built-in version and just use it there. It's interesting they're using HDRP with such a low poly thing too. That's an interesting choice. Low poly stuff doesn't really get too much help from HDRP at this point. But maybe it does. Maybe what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. Load it up. Made with Unity. Wednesday. It's a shame that the X covers this little thing here, right? What does the X even do? I don't want to click it because I don't want to stop it, but I'm assuming the X stops this from loading or importing, which seems dangerous. But anyways, it's a shame that this is covered up by the X, right? Or is the X just part? No, the X, I guess the X is pure white, so it doesn't matter if that's on top or not. But anyways, outdoor scene, low poly shader HDRP. Oh yeah, that's the name of that. How much time does it take to make an asset? More than, I can't do 2 per month unless they're very small assets. It depends on the asset. North Star took a month and a half, maybe. The portrait ones I just did, those were kind of, they were started out as being the same asset, but then I realized they were actually 2 assets, so I split them. See all these? These are not bugs. Just clear them out. It depends. Game Modules 4 was a huge update to Game Modules 3, and that took upwards of a year. But life gets in the way sometimes too, right? Like this past week, I did zero work on anything for my stuff because my day job and other stuff just got in the way, so I just didn't do it. So it depends on stuff like that. If I have more time, less time to do it. If it's a smaller asset or simpler. The projectile one that I'm working on is taking longer than I thought it might. But I'm just doing refactoring, and then it's probably going to have to take more time just to build more demonstrations, and then the documentation, the tutorial videos, and all that. So it takes a long time, but it varies. All right, this looks different than before. My assets. This is a different layout than I'm used to. This is my first time using 2023. And we're going to install any of the low poly things. I mean, so this shader warden, is that one of them? No, it's not one of the issues they had. But as you can see, there are already warnings. There are already warnings, and I haven't done anything. This is all Unity. There's just random warnings. So, which one? We'll take in bats. Download the update. That was HDRP, yes. But it was also heavily modified. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to, it's really the visuals. For HDRP or URP, it's the visuals. And HDRP has more visual stuff. But generally speaking, when people are using the low poly stuff like Cincy's, they're probably looking for optimization, optimized stuff, even though... all right, so we are going to install everything here because I know it's just Infinity PBR stuff and we have nothing else. So we're just going to install everything. Just because it's quote-unquote low poly doesn't actually mean it's low poly. That's a common misconception that low poly, the polygon count, is the same as low poly art style. They are very different things, and you can have a very high poly, low poly art style asset, and you can have an asset that's very high fidelity that's very low poly. And you got to keep in mind when people say, oh, Infinity PBR, I love your stuff, but I'm working on a mobile project, so I can't use it. Well, you know what? All my stuff was used in my 2015 mobile game. Now that's 8 years ago. It was released over 8 years ago, and all my stuff worked perfectly fine then. So all this stuff that I produce is mobile ready. Anyways, all right, so we've installed it. But if we load up the demo scene, we're going to get pink textures because it's delivered and built in. Wow, the UI is really small in this. Wow, that's not expected. It must be, they must have changed something there too. See, this is the problem. Unity changes stuff. Oh, hello, Joachim. Just started watching. I saw you were holding up your keyboard, and it looked very much like a Logitech. Yes. No, it's not. It's a nope. That's the Mac keyboard. That was a long time ago in the stream. Basic Mac expensive ass keyboard. They work. I like them. I like the low ones though. I've gotten used to it, so now I use a high one. I'm like, I can't use it. So I actually have a gaming PC, and I have the my older Mac keyboard attached to that. Because the big keys, I just didn't like it. All right, so demo source files. Somewhere we have low poly files. We have HDRP, low poly support, scripts, shaders. Ah, here we go. Is there a README? All right, well, let's install the shaders. HDRP. All right. All right. And then if we go to our bats low poly. Focus. Oh my gosh, I just changed the name of the bat. All right, focus on the good old-fashioned bats. They are pink. We look at the body, we go to the material. That's color shifter. Change this to Infinity PBR. Low poly color. Where's the HDRP one? Shaders. Probably just delete that. So now we only have the low poly color HDRP one. Should show up here. Maybe it's under HDRP. No. Infinity PBR. This is not it. Shifter. Why isn't it showing up? Oh, because of this? Okay. Yeah, so what this is it looks like HDRP changed shit. Fucking HDRP. So HDRP changed something. I made this with Amplify Shader Editor, so the only solution here is to update with the latest HDRP from Amplify Shader. I don't know if Amplify Shader has updated to the latest. They tend to. But Amplify Shader Editor. Releases, very recent, massive template, HDR versions. So if we go to their overview, compatible with that. So I don't raised minimum HDRP to 10x. I mean, it probably has been updated. I don't know. The problem is that I just have to try it. It's annoying. Freaking HDRP. I mean, I don't like it one bit because it changes and then you get these fucking issues. And it's such a... I don't even know why I support the HDRP with the low poly stuff. Maybe I should just drop that. All right, so that's the issue here. I am real. All right. So looking at it on the live stream right now, basically HDRP changed in 2023.2 or maybe just 2023.x. So there is a solution. If you're not using the color shifter at runtime, which really you don't have to, it's overkill for runtime, then the solution is just change the shader to any standard HDRP shader. So let's try to do that real quick. I don't know what the standard shaders are right now, but let's look at the bats again. So HDRP lit. All right, and then base map is going to be bats. Where's our maps for the bats? Textures and materials. Wait a minute. Do the bats never get them exported? Well, that would be confusing. They're supposed to be the export. All of these are supposed to be exported. All right, let's do something here. We're going to load up another one. We're going to load up the low poly one. Bring in the bats. They're supposed to be exported textures. So I can see how that would cause confusion because the exported textures appear to not be there. I see that for some reason I maybe never exported the textures, which would would cause some extra confusion. Well, I'm testing the bats, so maybe the character you're using does have them as it should. Remove that, add the bats. See, I made my own manager for my stuff because I didn't like having to move files around. So I made my own. That was a lot easier. Bats. Here's the bats. Here's what they look like. So the color shifter is great because the color shifter allows you to very easily create new colors for the bats and other characters. I don't know why the outline is yellow. That doesn't look like I would. It is, though. It is what it is, but if we look at our color shifter in the bats, textures, color shifter, open the color shifter editor. We have all of these. There we go. And then it's very easy to make new color texture sets. And some of these, it looks like I did it before I had this hide button. So now you can hide the ones that you don't want to see. But unfortunately, it's going to not be hidden the other ones. All right, so we'll just ignore it. And then you can change the color. So you can make a copy. So let's do a new one. What color should we should make one. We've got a red one. We have a white one. We have a black one, a brown one. What we don't have is a green one. So we're going to duplicate this. We'll call this green. Whoops, green. And in this one, we're going to just hide these because it's a lot easier once they're hidden. And not every character uses all of the potential colors on the color map. The color map has a whole bunch, 40 something, I think, or more. Whoops. What did I just do? Undo. Oh, yeah, I did want to hide that one. Okay. So now you can take any one of these and just change the color. It's very easy to change the color. As you can see, some of the colors are matching. If you dig into it, you can see that all of these are being controlled by this. That's the infinite loop we talked about earlier. That's where that comes into play. So we can get the iris to be maybe dark orange, brown, something like that. Maybe a little darker. And then the pupil, we'll make it maybe like a kind of faded yellow. Weird thing. Outline, we can make that a dark green. Inner mouth is fine. The nose, we can make this maybe a more brownish nose. We can make the teeth more grimy, something like that. And then these wing flaps, we can make that whatever. So now we have a green one. That's what color shifter does. It makes it very easy to change the colors, so you can just quickly do that. But it also has this export as PNG button. Where's exporting? Aster projects. We don't want that. We want it to export here. So, assets, Infinity PBR, bats, textures. Choose that. So, export as PNG, and so you can just quickly get these and export them all as PNG. This is what apparently for this character I never did. So there's that. All right, so now I'm going to do something. I'm going to export this package. We're going to bring it over to the other project, bats, textures, and because I will forget if I don't do it exactly right now, we're going to go to our publisher account here, go to our packages, search for bats, Batty McBat, bats low poly, and make an update here. Create new draft, release notes, 4.2.1, 4.2.1, added the exported textures, erroneously not done before. So I will make that update, submit, whoops, don't submit, cancel, save, and we can actually make the update right now because I've included nothing else. So Astor uploader, login. Log in. All right. Bats. Browse. This shouldn't take too much of my upload bandwidth because it's just a small file for the most part. See, it's going very quickly. Okay. Go back here. Reload. Make sure this is good. No, we'll delete the older version. Remove, and we will add this. 2023.x has issues with the HDRP shader due to changes in HDRP. If best to use the color shifter. In other versions to create new colors, then export them as PNG textures. This does not affect the use of the package in HDRP 2023.x, only the color shifter tool. Use any max characters. Okay. There you go. Well, we'll save that. My left eye is twitching again. And submit. I swear. Swear. It's accurate. All right. So that's done. Now let's go back to our HDRP version. Import custom package. And we will import our custom package here. Bats textures. Open that. Now we know we only had that, but we're not going. Actually, I am going to save. I do want to overwrite. See, this is the overwrite thing. If you see this, make a note. Do I really want to overwrite that? In this case, I do. All right. So now we've got that color shifter. We're going to do. So this is the fix. Create a new material. And then I say bats black. Move this black into our base map, and then move this onto the character, which is all the black. Where's the material? Right there. All right, and then what the hell? Why doesn't it look right? Then this is stupid. Let's make it pink. We'll do the pink one instead to make it more obvious what's going on. Now, okay, so this is HDRP though, so it's doing all this other stuff with the shader. So you're gonna have to handle your smoothness where you want the smoothness to be. Probably down here. If it's gonna be low poly, it's not metallic. There's no normal map. Everything else, I don't know, whatever the settings are. And there you go. Bob's your uncle. So now you've got the thing. So. So solution is make a new one of these with the HDRP lit shader, and then bring the pink into there. All right. It's okay. I forgive you. You made me laugh. So that's good. I don't think anyone else on the stream has made me laugh. And by the way, I did ask earlier if anyone had any jokes, and nobody said a joke. So there you go. So for other people then, since you're watching, we're going to load up this. I need to probably make a tutorial about this actually in the things. Maybe I'll do that later today if I have time. Although I'm making pizza for my friends. If you watched the Game Dev show yesterday, we talked about pizza and then went on some tangent about healthy eating habits. And I'm making pizza for my friends. I practiced last night and made a pizza for myself and one for my friend. And now I'm making pizza for my other friends at that same friend's house. I'm getting better, but more to do. And they want cheesy bread. So you know I'm going to make garlic knots, which isn't cheesy bread, but I want to make garlic knots. I want to see if I can do that. I've done it before with pre-made dough, but now I'm going to do it with my own dough. All right. Coffee. So this is, yeah. So I'll plan on making a video going over this flow. And probably I should just really explicitly say color shifter is not for runtime. You can use it at runtime. It's one line to change the colors around. And technically you could build a thing where people could customize their colors, but I don't want to support that. Like, you can easily do it. It's not hard, but I don't want to have to teach people that, if that makes sense, because it's really not. It's an edge use case. But yeah. So the thing will be to make a new material, set that up, and use that. The lit shader is the way to go. But like I'm saying live on the stream, I should be more explicit with that and make a video showcasing the exact steps. And also, fuck HDRP with the all the updates that break stuff. But I can try. Basically, if the Amplify Shader Editor has support for 2023, I can make a new version that works with that. No big deal. It's gonna take some time. I've got a project specifically for that on this machine somewhere, because you have to produce the shader in HDRP. So I'm gonna have to make a version of that project for 2023.x, probably 0.1, and see if that bug's there too, and then export it, and then there will be a new HDRP package in the support things that would be HDRP 2020.x. So there you go. So that is that one. Next one, more Unity discussion. There's no Unity discussion. There's no new stuff here. Why was it showing like there was something new? I don't know. Oh, there is something else new here. Decreased build size. 19 minutes ago. Meledias, are you watching the stream? That's a good question. Okay, so they're talking about the male and female elves here in this case. We're going to include the package and only use one prefab character. The build is increased by 200 megabytes. That is likely true. All right, let me save and quit this one. We got too many projects open now. Save and quit this one. It's fine. Okay, so this one has characters in it, I believe. Yep. So if we look at the elves and we look at the models themselves, the bodies, if we just look at the male body here and reveal it in the Finder, we see it is 19.5 megabytes. All right, so that shouldn't be the issue. It's probably the texture sizes, because the textures have a lot of textures. So my thinking here is, if we just look at the blank body, which is white because it's white and you can add your own color. That's why it's a blank. This textures, reveal in Finder, are also all of those. So my guess is it's the combination of the mesh plus textures. They all seem to be, I don't know what they all are, so I won't speak to that. If you haven't, try lowering the texture resolution in the editor to something that works for your project to optimize those. That will reduce the build size, I think, plus the memory usage. And we will upload this other screenshot I made earlier. This one. The mesh itself, I don't think there is any way to lower that, however. The mesh was only 20 megabytes, though. Coffee. You know, I don't like coffee. I don't hate it, though. What do you when you don't like something but you don't not like something, you know, there's the, whoa, sorry, my apologies, ASMR. That you got the I don't like mushrooms. I don't like them. If I have to eat them, they're like ick. I feel gross. I don't like them. And then I do like chicken tikka masala. I really like chicken tikka. I really like a lot of Indian food, though. Actually, if I had to choose one cuisine from a cultural cuisine background, I would choose Indian food. I like it. I actively like it. I actively do not like mushrooms. Coffee, It's not that I like it, but I don't not like it. Same thing with avocados. I don't go out of my way to eat avocados. I don't hate them. I'll eat them, but they're not my favorite, you know? So what do you call that? What do you say when you want to say, I don't like coffee, but you want to say that you also don't hate it? Is there a word for that? I think I'm feeling the caffeine, though. All right. Okay, let's move on to these other ones. Game modules, my favorite. Map with icons. What is this? So I want to make a world map for each area of my game, kind of like Skyrim in a way. I'm using some 2D map assets from Unity. Well, this is... What category is this in? Is this a discussions category? Can I make this wider? I can't make this wider. Beta testing. Oh, I should just close this down. I just also realized you might not even be able to see the question. I can't make this wider? Why can't I make that wider? That's annoying. All right. And why is this just cut off too? Since there's clearly enough space now. All right, anyways. Okay. This is in game modules beta testing, which it's out of beta, so. Anyways, world map for each game like Skyrim. Let's go look at the Skyrim thing. Let's see. Where are my bookmarks? Game resources. UI database. I try to do game resources or bookmarks. Well, let's see. Skyrim map. Skyrim. They don't have the overworld map. New Skyrim overworld map game UI. Game UI database. Is this exactly? This is a different one. Okay. This one has a lot more Skyrim on it. I agree to your cookies. Let's look for the modals and stats, resources, information. If you haven't used these websites, by the way, like Game UI database, holy crap, bookmark this. It's amazing. Here we are. All right, so this would be a good use case for North Star. Now, I don't know exactly how to get the map, but I assume, by memory of Skyrim is correct, you can kind of scroll around this map. So this could be like a representation of the world. So let's copy this and put my thoughts down. Put a ring on it. I like it, so I'm going to put a ring on it. All right, referencing this. If memory serves, you can scroll around this world. I think this could be either a smaller mesh representing the world, or just zoom out really damn far and be optimized about it. That's a task right there. But once you have that, the new North Star asset would easily do all the overlays. Now let's link to the North Star asset with, of course, the affiliate code, right? Because we all like to support Infinity PBR. This money goes right back into making more stuff. So we're going to say North Star. It's probably on here already. There it is. So we'll do that. Oops. It's a long URL. Question mark. AID equals that. Copy that. Oh, nope, that won't work. I actually just deleted the important bit of the URL. The only important bit of the URL. Second important, not the only. All right. What just happened? Oh my god. History. North Star. What am I doing? I can't be trusted to do anything right. Oh, I see what I did. All right. Now we got it. So really, this in all this URL, the only thing that really matters is that number. Did you know that you can change this to Infinity PBR rocks and go to the exact same page? Did you know you could do that? I knew. Now you know. Discord. Not North Start, North Star. Edit message. Have that. We're going to remove that embed. Yeah, so the North Star does overlays. So if you do zoom out, if this is a zoomed out of the world, which if you optimize things well, you might be able to actually achieve in your game. Or maybe just use a different camera that only, yeah, here, yeah, like, one thought, just an idea. Use a separate camera for this map view that doesn't draw most of the stuff in the world, so that you can turn off the main camera and turn on this, and that should be fairly optimized already because it's not drawing all the stuff, monsters, buildings, etc., just the terrain and clouds. Yeah, and then you'd have to, even though you're not drawing these things, you still have to figure out where the icons are. But and then the overlays, these are all just overlays, and you can customize those. North Star allows customization, so you can, what did I just do? I came off of it. Yeah, so North Star allows customization, so you can customize how these all show up, their opacity, like this up here, and all that stuff. If there's overlays, if there's text that shows up, you can customize all that. You could even show like paths, I suppose, although that would require even more work on your part. So, you know, only do that if you really want it. So yeah, that's that. What's the questions here? You DM me a code for your tool? Thank you. I'll check it out. Trying to learn as much as you can. That makes sense. Gen Z would say coffee is mid. Oh, mid. I'm trying to learn all the Gen Z things like God, on God, because I've got, you know, nephews and nieces and friends' kids in my life, and I love to make them cringe when I say Gen Z things. And I tell them, oh yeah, I get that Riz. I'm going to Riz up that girl on Hinge, on Tinder. And then they say, ugh. But that's cool. They like me the best. Indifference, meh. It's meh. But even meh sounds negative to me. But maybe it's not. If you use your own affiliate link, do they lower the 30% cut? No. It's interesting. You can use your own affiliate link. If you're buying assets and you use your affiliate link, it will go through. I don't think they stop that, especially because there's a good chance your emails are going to be different, or they might be different. I don't know if that would be different. But yeah, so you get a 5% discount. You have to pay taxes on that affiliate revenue, so it's not quite a 5% discount, but it's a discount. So yeah, you could do that. But the affiliate code, the really thing is just use it on all your links, and then tell your people, tell your fans about your stuff and how other assets work well with them and stuff, and you'll get some extra money. All right, so that's that one. Ooh, trying the party-based RPG demo and the character creator UI is all jumbled. Ah, yes. I already answered this one. Oh, it's already up there. This is the new one. Blackboard, note, hit points. I love Tim. Tim's such a great person. He's been using the game module since the beginning. In the RPG demo, hit points, magic points, armor class points, all add to the main hit points. The name of note in Blackboard name is stat. Okay, but where will the points be added? That references just what it is that it's adding. The stat drawer, is it drawer like I'm drawing something and a drawer, or am I a drawer like in my chest of cabinets I have a drawer filled with stuff? I like drawer personally, but nobody seems to know. The function is this line of code, points. But where is the decision to add points to the string of the entry? The actor name has no points. Woo. Okay, lots of stuff. Let me read through. Is it right? Stats gets a points. Attributes does not. Yes, that is correct. Okay. And I use this method to add stats. Found the problem. Is it a problem? Oh no. Add this to Blackboard. Now the stats are the Blackboard with the wrong name for the stats. I wonder who wrote the Book of Love. I wonder who. Oh. Why are we getting this? We should not be getting this. Let's debug this real quick because this should not be happening. Interesting. I added this and then apparently I never got around to testing. That's interesting though. I would have noticed this. I think I would have noticed this. So basically, this is checking to see. Let's figure out the exact line it's going. If the thing here. Wait, what? Utility 616. If the type name is allowed. And 702. New object type. Debug.log. Is new object type. So we're going to just recreate that. I think this is going to be empty or something. So we go to stats. Yes. So if it's empty, we're going to, so it's basically checking if this type name is okay. So what we're going to do here, oh yeah, I moved my writer icon over here. I moved my icon used to be over here. That's why I was looking over there. I need to retrain that I moved my unit just this morning, right before the stream, actually, minutes before the stream. So now we're just going to check and see if this is null, but we can change it. So so we're going to do, I'm going to use some AI actions here. If is empty or null, make it new type. Let's see if it works. Partially accepting suggestions. Press this and arrow to insert only the first word of the suggestions. To accept the first line of a multi-line suggestion, do Control Command arrow. Got it. What if I just hit, oh. What if you just want to accept it all? Anyways, so that's that. I could have written that myself, but I want to try the new AI. I'm paying $9 a month for or whatever. Is null or white space new object type? The new object type equals new type. Boom. So that already worked. We can see the background right here. I'm pointing with my finger as if you're next to me. We can see the background right there. It worked. So that bug is solved. We will now then go back to our publisher portal here and fixed a bug when creating new objects, and the type field is empty. Save that. So we'll update that, fix that bug. That wasn't what we were coming here to do though. What we were coming here to do is actually load up a new project. We're going to load up the party-based RPG demo because this already has stats in there. And the issue is with, I believe, is my hunch, with the stats and the settings on the stats where you can choose whether it posts to the Blackboard or not. And you can choose what it posts to the Blackboard. So when we go to our hit points, this is game modules. This is the party-based RPG demo project. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Game modules is great, by the way. I think you all should be using it for most games. If it's a very simple game, overkill. But if it's not a simple game, then this will probably, once you learn how to use it, make it a lot easier, in my humble opinion. So if we go to our stats here, we're going to look at our main stats, I believe. Hit points. Yep, hit points. Inspector. So in here we have this part. And we're going to take a screenshot because I'm guessing that perhaps this is the aspect that he is going to want to check out. Because this is where if you are posting the points, then you'll get hit points dash points. And you can choose to post these or not. In the demo, this one is chosen to post that. So my thinking is that he needs to check that in his project. Upload file. At Tim, my first thought is that the settings may be different. Check this on your stat object in the inspector. Let me know. Sorry for the delay. Very busy week at work, and normal life kept me away from checking Discord. All right. So I think that will be the issue for that, but we'll see. He'll have to check. Duffman. Just started to use game modules for. Excellent. I like it. Ooh, there's a conversation. I like that too. And it seems the editor performance is fine until I create my first stat or any other thing. What is this video? Is this the one that we just... No. Very low fidelity. First attempt. This is blah, blah, blah. Fast. Create 5 stats. Ooh, and then... No, it creates the stats. Okay. Okay, second attempt. I see where you're going with this. Can you guys see this? I'm in full screen mode. I'm not sure if you can see this. Is going to be laggy. Where's the lag? I'm looking for the lag. Is he clicking? Ooh, that's a lot of points. Okay. I'm not sure I saw the lag, but let's see. The first time I type the name is working fine. The speed is fine, but after that it slows down. It goes slow in any input inside the editor. Anyone know I can find the root cause of the issue? Okay. Do you have the same problem in a clean new project? I've been trying to remove plugins to see if I can find. The only thing I've noticed is that performance increases when I delete plugins that contain a lot of assets. Another thing I've tested is to create a project with the same plugins I have with the one that lags, with only the game modules work fine. When I have other plugins, input starts to go laggy. The behavior only happens inside the input field from the game modules for tool windows. If I'm in the inspector, the performance is fine. Is this the thing we just fixed? 630 something? I don't know. Oops, I can't see the full. Can't see the full error. Okay. It's weird. Set all dirty function. Each GUI call in the game on the compute true. Okay, yeah, that would do it. All right. Hello, Duffman. Thanks for trying out Game Modules 4. Sorry for the delay. It's been a busy week. Looking at this now. Let's see. So a lot of assets. So he's basically saying asset data, find assets of type null. Stats manager. Let's look at that. We're going to do this in our Game Modules one here. Stats. Actually, which one should we do it in? Let's do it in Legend of the Stones, because this one has a bunch of stats and it's using Game Modules and all that. So stats manager. Not that. So what stats manager? I think that's what he said. Line. What line was it? Line 647. This could be optimized probably, is my guess. Set all dirty for each item object in game modules. Stat set dirty. Game modules objects stat recompute equals true. So this is a generic method that's going to not recompute if it's not true. But if it's true, then, and if we're recomputing, then we do so we're caching it basically. But if we are recomputing, then we recompute by doing the find assets of type. And that is true. And the reason we do that is because we want to ensure we have the newest stuff. However, my brain's working right now. We set this on here. So let's change this to false for Stats Manager. Just to note here, DC23, change this to false. But whenever we add new stats, they won't necessarily save or set dirty because they won't be in that list. So, actually, let's do this. Var recompute equals false, or bool, sorry, and then we'll pass that value in here. So now this is on. We'll have to do this with all the other managers. Mental note for that. All right, so now we're not going to recompute the whole list. Game modules. Oof, I started game modules a few years ago, and this is version technically 4. Game modules 3. I don't even remember what game modules 2 looked like. Version 1 and 2 got updated fairly quickly, but the update between 3 and 4 took almost a year. From when I started saying, okay, I'm going to start updating 4, is really started with the quest system, and I quickly realized I needed to update the whole system to make it better and more extensible. So a long time. And it was a breaking change, which is why it went from 3 to 4. Okay, so now we're going to need to call this when we create a new stats. So if I go into my game module button here, where is this in the code? I'm going to have to remember where this is in the code. Let's hide some shit here. Clean this up. Close this. And then I'm going to have to remember to bring these scripts over too. The actual game modules. So if we then go to, where's the create? Stats man on this. Yes. Main button names used. Stats manager. Manage create new. If can create, then we are. Oh, I'm getting an ad about homeless Californians. I think that in hopefully not too many years, but at some point in the future, we're going to look back and say, what the fuck was wrong with us with all the homeless people? Why didn't we help them? It's already been shown that it's cheaper to give people homes than it is to treat homelessness as a thing. It costs less money for society. It's a better outcome for society. So why don't we just give people fucking homes? If they don't have a home, give them a home. Then help them get back onto the freaking hamster wheel that is life. It's better for everybody. Anyways, that was the ad I saw about homelessness. So editor pref set bool cache search index. Where is if button create stats of type? This doesn't look right. Button create. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, it does. It was black, so I wasn't looking at it. If we can create, then create assets stats. So this is in. Are we in Stats Manager still? Yes. Okay. So create assets. This is a generic thing. Do all the stuff. Asset days, and then we're gonna do set all dirty. We're going to do this. We're going to do a new public static void set all dirty t generic where t module scriptable object if Unity editor. Oh my god, I love the AI. Objects is that set all dirty of objects is that basically this for each. Not quite. So we're going to do bool recompute equals false. And then here we're going to be calling this, we're going to be calling set all dirty t and true. So that's what we're going to be calling to recompute. And in our this is what we're going to be calling. So again, if Unity editor, because yeah, we're only doing that in the editor, so it's only a Unity editor thing. It's really this for each game modules objects t set dirty. Okay, same thing, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, so this is it. So we're creating this new set all dirty t here. That's in the game modules utility. And then in our stats, well, in our stats, we can now, yeah, we can remove this, right? And then set all dirty. We can now add this stat, and now it is calling that. We're going to say false. Well, it's false by default. All right, so now this will be false. Are you following me here? This will be false. It's going to do the utilities class for set all dirty. And we're just passing that recompute value here, false by default. And so it's going to go through every item object in that of this type. In this case, we're passing in stats and set dirty that. But for the other use case that we currently have, the create assets, this is going to call in true. So whenever we create assets now, and this is a generic function that's used for all of the different types, we're going to then set all of them to be dirty, including the new ones. But the real goal there is to recompute this. Now, I could just do a recompute, but I think we want to set all dirty just in case there might be a little bit more to it. It's just safer. We might be able to have done this line itself, but I'm going to have set them all dirty. No big deal. Like he said, it was 30 milliseconds or something like that. And that's whenever this button is created, is clicked. So no big deal. So now let's quickly test. Whoops. We're going to go back to our stats. And then we're going to test 2. Why is this debugging? We should remove that. That debug was probably just me. Okay, stats, create, test 1, test 2. Okay, armor skill, create those. We had that little blip right there. And then we have these here. So I'm going to save. Well, I mean, they're objects, so they're good. Okay, so let's just delete them now. Delete them. They'll delete from there. They should delete. There they are. We got these errors because they were both there, but then I clicked into it, so they went away. No more errors. Okay, so that's the fix there. Now, the thing is that we have a lot of things like Stats Manager. We have Stats Manager, Voices Manager. So let's look for Manager. Go down the list. Conditions Manager. So when we look at Stats Manager, what did we change? Set all dirty. So set all dirty. So we're deleting this. And then finding this and calling condition. And that's that. So we're going to do that on all of these. That should fix it, I believe. I hope it makes logical sense to me that it will be fixed. Item attribute. Interesting. We don't do that here. Oh, we do. I had, for some reason, I commented it out. That's interesting. Object. The lookup table. Loot boxes. Whoops. Set all dirty. Stream is very laggy and buffering at times. Is that? I'm assuming that's a new thing because you've been watching all the time. Let me check something. Loot box. This should not be going. This started going maybe. So I just ordered Backblaze per Jason Storey's suggestion, and I don't know if it started doing it again. I had paused it before the stream, so hopefully that fixes that issue. Let me know if it doesn't. Loot items manager. Set all dirty. See, this is actually good because I'm also reducing replicated code, right? Loot items. And general rule is when you start repeating code, look for a refactor. Mastery level. Levels. Quest conditions. I mean, even in a way, all of these different managers probably could be combined, but they are so different. I didn't do it, so a healthy dose of refactoring could probably combine these, make them more generic, but it not something I want to do right now. Quest condition. Quest rewards, or just quest reward. And quests almost done, getting close to the end. Do I need to make this? No, these are all false by default. Good. Whew. because only the create and create is now generic for all of them. Stats is done. Voices manager. Voices. Is it voices or voice on this one? Voices. Okay. That should be them. So, let's see. Make sure I select all of the ones that I just updated. Export managers. And the other thing that I updated was the utilities called wrong thing. So we're going to give this guy this. And the other thing is utilities. What was it called? Oh yeah, move this over again. It's game module utilities. Game module utilities. Export this package. Game module utilities. And go back to Discord. Okay. I'll be updating the package with these updated scripts. This should solve this. Now the true will only be called to recache the found files after the creation and will not be called on the standard set dirty. Let me know if there are any random bugs you find from this update. The only thing I'm thinking, the only bug I can imagine is if there's, because now these will only, they'll only recache when you create, which makes sense. But what if you somehow bring some in from another project or something like that? That's not usually the workflow, but it could be. In those cases, it would not necessarily recache them. Is there a way? Actually, there is a way, maybe. Let's see. Thinking in my head. Okay. So there is one way of doing it. Check a session prefs that defaults to false, called prefs string to see if it exists, called set all dirty t, replacing t with the type name, and if it doesn't exist, then recompute equals true and set the prefs. All right, AI, do your thing. Type name equals that. Pref string equals that. Prefs value. Editor prefs get string. But here's an issue AI. Editor prefs will be stored between sessions. I need this value to default to false whenever the on each session load in the editor. Does that make sense? I don't need that. Isn't there a session prefs thing? I thought there was. Session state for storing session specific data in the editor, though data stored in session state will not survive a new editor session. Yeah. That's what I was looking for. Session state. Okay, let's just have it explain the code to me now. Kubrode basically performs a check against the session state preference. Here indicates that something has been changed that requires the date of all mods. Let's break it down. Okay, determine the string. Prefs. String. Set all dirty. Session state. Prefs. Okay, so this should ensure that if the session is new, we always recache the objects. That should help with some and session state value session prefs string, and it's going to be lowercase s. Just messing up all over the place, aren't I? State. Okay. Excuse me. So that should work, I think. So now if you do install something, then we'll reduce the chance of errors. If you do bring in a Unity package with these objects already in there, it likely wouldn't cause an error. You'd have to do multiple, like... Is there a way to know if... Alright, it was probably that then. The backblaze thing. Yeah, is there a way to know? If a thing has been imported? No. Anyways, this is fine for now. All right. This is on utility, so let me re-export this and test again, just to be absolutely sure. Create test 1, 2, 3, and something else. Create those. We got the lag. Good. Okay. Find these. Delete that. Delete that. Delete. 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 Okay. They seem to work. All right. And then we go back here and it works. Okay. So let's redo game modules utility, game module utilities. Export that as game module utilities. Oops. Replace. All right. Go back to Discord. Give them the right one. Delete this one. Install both, please. Installing only one will return errors. Errors. Ignore those until both are installed. All right. Now we'll go back to the game modules project and install both of these. Utilities first. I don't think this will throw an error actually. Oh, ooh, it did. Why is this throwing an error? Uh-oh. What did I just do? Uh-oh. I made a boo-boo. Alright, let me do something here. I messed up a little bit. Delete this. All right, so the issue was the Legend of the Stones one wasn't up to date. I should have thought about that before I used that one. So we're going to go to the package manager. Fuck. Because what else did I change earlier? Okay, we're only going to install this one thing. All right, that's fine. Game module. So basically, I overwrote a newer version of the utilities class. And I added the updates to the older version of the utilities class. So I need to add those to the newer version. And I should have updated game modules in my Legend of the Stones before doing that, but I didn't. Okay, so we're going to update to the latest version. Eventually, we're going to update to the latest version. There we go. Now we're going to import, deselect everything. Look at what we've changed. It should just be utilities. Not doing that. Not doing that. Utilities. It's just this one. All right. So we're going back there. Look at my notes. Divide by getter window game model. New objects, and the type field is empty. What was that? Was that in this one? I think it was. So now I need to go fix that. All right, go back to Discord. This is Legend of the Stones. This is this one. Okay. Names in array. Create. Assets. Type field. All right, let's just recreate this bug piece. I believe the way we did it, just go here and no, it's not happening again. Oh, and this is empty. New type. Oh, okay. So that's we don't need to fix that. All right, that's good. So now we'll go to writer. What we need to do is copy this set all dirty over. We're putting this after create assets. Right here. So we'll put that right there. So save that. That's the only change we made to that file, so we can be good there. Now, the other thing is, hopefully, I didn't make the same mistake on the other files, but we'll find out in a minute when we install them. Import, package, custom package, managers. All of them will be updated. No bugs, no bugs, no bugs, no bugs. Good. Okay, I didn't think that. So, all right. So we're saving the project. And I believe that means we can update it. And we updated the set dirty method to reduce the amount of recaching of game module types each manager script plus game modules utilities.cs. All right. And go back here. Now let's game module utilities export. That I also just realized I called it something wrong in the module utilities. And we'll put this to the Discord. There we go. That should be that. Delete this wait message. Delete that. Go back here. And name this properly. .cs. All right. Save. Is that all of the messages? Don't feel too bad. I'm glad you're a fan. You're a fat whale. All right. Anything low poly. Fair enough. That's a style. People like that style. I've never been into it. I can appreciate it, but it's not the style I want to build my game with. But that's because everybody's different. Doo-doo. All right, so there we go. So now the last step is to actually update the game modules package. We did enough updates here that it's ready to be updated. All right. And then I'm going to start making pizza dough. And get a recipe for garlic knots. Is there an event for an import is done? Chat.openai. In Unity, I have a utilities script. Is there an event or something that is called when an import of a .unity assets file or Unity package file is done? There might be, actually. There isn't a direct one. Okay. All right, I'll have to think about this. I might update it again with this, but this will require a little bit more work. Basically, if I'm reading this correctly, then this is inheriting from the asset post processor. This would be my own version. And whenever one of these happens, it's the imported assets or deleted assets that I would be really looking for. And then I would get the type. Great. Great. Let's update that to only look at imported and deleted. And then check if it's of type stat or item object. We'll flesh out the rest later. If it is, then see, I said let me do it later, and now I'm doing it now. Isn't that funny? I do that sometimes. Then we will set the session date. Basically do this for that type. Actually, here we go. It would be like this: public static string session state string t Okay. So we're basically now calling this, doing type name equals that. Session state string equals this. I guess we need a default value. Session value. We're just returning this. It's overthinking it or doesn't know the stuff. So it's overthought it. Let's quickly see if this works. Package import processor. Man, I was going to go like eat some food and get ready for stuff. I might still do that. Let's see. All right, we're in the Grade Modules 4. We're going to go to editor. Create a... Is this the right one? No, we need this editor. There we go. Create a new script called package import processor. We're going to call this namespace Infinity PBR modules. I don't know what. Okay. And let's just copy this original stuff here. Okay. Its suggestion down here. Oh, I think it's gonna. Do we need? Oh, we do need the others. Okay. Oh, because it's an event function. I see. So then we're going to copy these. Yes, we can copy those. We're going to create a method here. Okay, and get the get the path of the assets. No. Find the asset called called asset. Nope. Find the asset by the string asset. No, is that the path? Debug.log. Processing. Scene. All right. And then if the type is, whoops. If the type is stat or item object or item attribute is not those, return. What's it doing? Stat or, oops, god damn it. Item object. Okay. Okay. We'll flesh out the rest later. And then otherwise we're going to go to our utilities. Session. We'll do this. Go to this. Game module utilities dot session state string of type oh shit get the type of the object for use in a generic method. Is that gonna do it right? Does that work? No. How do we do this? AI, tell me. I need to pass the type into the session state string method. I know I can't. I know it's invalid. No! What is this? I guess they are all game module objects. But that... No. Okay, so we need to do it slightly differently here. If it is type of stat, then that why is it saying invalid? Okay, there we go. And then session value set bool to false. We're just going to do that. We're going to do that at the end. So make that equals default. And then this. And then this. And then that. Okay. Item object, etc. Oh my gosh, I don't think this is as good as GitHub Copilot. Copilot was better. Inventory is not a thing, a game module type. Replicate for other game module types. Is that gonna help? Nope. Bastards. Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. There were a lot. So item attribute, quest, quest condition, quest reward, loot box, loot item, items, condition, mastery levels. I think that was it. Okay. I wonder if there's a way to do for each type that inherits from a certain thing. Because each of these inherits from game module objects. Let's ask the AI that. Each of the types here inherit from game modules. Is there a way to do a for loop for all objects which inherit from that? Using reflection. Well, this is only at edit time, so it should be okay. It's not much less code. That's weird. Oh, I typed it wrong, or it typed it wrong, one of the two. For each type, reverse this then, or invert rather. If method equals that's not right. Name get method. No, that's not right. That won't work. Because I just need to call this method. Make generic method type. Nope, that won't work. Never mind. Undo. Undo. It's fine. We need these. All right, let's see if this works. So to do that, we are going to create one test. It did process there. All right. So let's look at our test. Oh, hello, Merrick. How are you? Pizza is what I'm cooking. Export package. Test. And then assets. Whoops. Assets import package. Well, let me delete this. All right, that's fine. That's just a one-time thing. Assets, import, custom package, test, import, and processing, and undo main button be null. Well, that's just because it was updating it. Because I had this window open. Okay, so that's fine. So it processed it. So it should have worked. Yep. So I'm going to delete this. All right, so it should work. I'm going to now go to a couple things. Writers over here now. Gotta remember that. Go to here. Remove this processing thing. So now whenever anything's imported or deleted, it will go through, and if that is excuse me, one of those types, it should do that. So that should solve that potential problem. And Jihad, you were right. There wasn't, well, sort of right. There wasn't an event, but there was a way of doing it. Now let me clean this up and make it look the way I want it to look. Okay. There we go. So now we need game module utilities. Where's game module utilities? It's in here, and we need also this. So game modules utilities, and what was it called? Package import processor. Is it not here? Oh, there it is. Okay. Export these. Game module utilities. Replace. Go back to Discord so I don't mess up this wonderful person who asked a question in here. Delete this. And then bring in the right one. All right. And we'll go back to our notes here. Also added pre-processor. What was it called? Package import processor. That was very different. Package import processor. CS to handle imports and deletes of game module objects to force a recache when those actions occur. All right, save. Now we'll update it to the asset store. Magic Pig Games. Just this. That is fine. Export and upload. Booyah. A booyah, 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 booyah. Good, 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 good. December 16th. Submit. I swear it. All right, so there we go. Thank you for hanging out. I didn't get to the projectile system. I'll show you what I have here, though. There's more work to be done, but now we've got this. You can see that there is a trajectory that's live. When you go there, if I turn this on, then there's one that's pre as well. You can also do the forward missile. Trajectory is just a thing there. So you can see what happens when you just do the forward missile. It just goes forward. Then we have the fireball, and this trajectory, when it's on, shows you this little X on something. But the fireball also has a different movement on it. You can see there's bugs to fix right here. But so this trajectory just shows you where it's going to go. Then we have this other fireball times 5, which trajectory isn't working right now. It was, or maybe it was, I can't remember. but that's why I need to fix the trajectory working there. But this one shoots 5 fireballs forward, and so there you go. So lots of stuff to do there to fix, because I wanted to show the trajectory separate from the other trajectory. So that's it. This is the system. It's the same shooter. You're just changing scriptable objects for all these various attributes, these behaviors. So there's just a lot of behaviors, and you can create your own behavior, set up their values. So you can create your own scripts too. So you can make your own scripts. You can inherit from these scripts to change something or add one little thing. So the wave movement behavior, as an example, inherits from the movement behavior forward. And movement behavior forward inherits from behavior. It's just empty. But forward, you just move forward. And the wave, you just add this additional move. And then we override the move to add these different little things here. So there's really, that's the only difference between forward right there and fireball, is one has the wiggle. And then the different prefabs for the actual thing. So that's the projectile system. At the end, the trajectory will end up showing all sorts of trajectories. This one just has an overlay. This one's just a straight line. There will be curved lines for like arrows and stuff. So all that. Look at that here. I put a note for myself. That's nice. So that's what I was going to do. But it's been 3 hours, and I am ready to go move on to making pizza for my friends and figuring out the right garlic nut recipe to make. So they asked for cheese bread, but I'm going to make garlic nuts instead. Is that okay? Or is it? Ooh, maybe I can make cheesy bread with garlic. I'm going to do like garlic. Anyways, have a great day, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. I'm glad you like the music in the background, Merrick. I appreciate that. It's the same music I've been using for a very long time, but it is a combination of some music that I got from artlist.io and some music that is from the packages. So all of these come with, a lot of the older packs have music in them, and a lot of these tracks are actually from those. So if you get any of the old characters that have music, well, that's what you might be hearing. Like Remember the Plains right now, there's an alt version. They all come with all the stems, so you can remix them. And there's alt versions, 10 alt versions already remixed for you in every single one, if you just want to drag and drop and be done with it. So there you go. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you all, and I will see you all on the flip side. Have a great day. And how do I stop this? Thanks. Bye.